Can we talk about last night? Because it was an extraordinary moment to listen to the President of the United States issue edicts as though he were king about 80 million Americans having to get a needle in the arm or be fired. So says he. Your thoughts?
Well, it's illegal. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't think I need to be to know that you can't create that kind of edict from the executive level. Frankly, I'm not even sure Congress could pass a law to that extent and it still be constitutional. But it certainly can't happen from the executive level. It's such a massive overreach. And I also think it just flies in the face of common sense. If let's assume that it was perfectly legal and we had a king that could do such a thing. But then the question would be whether it's even good policy. Is this the right way to deal with a pandemic and to institute this public health measures? And I would say no. I mean, look, whether we like it or not, we do live in a free country. I like that. Some people apparently don't. And you have to build trust with people. If you want them to do something, there's a variety of public policy measures that you can take to get them to do something. Usually you incentivize it. You might punish a behavior, especially a violent behavior. Or you can do the most extreme version, which is mandates. And we very rarely do that. And to do that for a pandemic like this one, is it bad? Yes. Is it unprecedented? Not quite. We've learned to live with it to an extraordinary degree. Everybody who wants to get vaccinated can. If you do get vaccinated, it's a very high likelihood you will not be hospitalized and that you'll be fine. And personal choice and personal responsibility play a large part in that. And what I think Biden is doing too, this is the other bad part about this, is he's causing more distrust in the vaccine. The vaccine's already been politicized, right? The left all badmouthed the vaccine when Trump was touting Operation Warp Speed, and now it's flipped. In any case, if you want to build trust in it, you need to be honest with people. Be honest about the pros and cons, the risks and the benefits, and don't make it seem like you're forcing people to do it. That just causes more distrust. I mean, what you resist persists. And it's a terrible leadership move. It's not practical, and it flies in the face of who we are as Americans, I think.
Have to ask a cynical question, but to what extent do you think this is the result of his falling polls? And he gave a little present to more left-leaning voters who love vaccine mandates, and he doesn't really care about pissing off, Republicans or people who lean right. And here you go. It may be unconstitutional, but they're going to love it. They're going to eat it up. And so let's get those poll numbers back up to where they were before.
That's possible. I would have, if I was in his inner circle in the White House, I would have advised against that because I really don't see how this could possibly be more popular. You're correct. It's very popular again for primary voter Democrat primary voters. They want to see these kind of mandates. I mean, it's what they vote for. They want to see tax increases. At least they say they do. I'm not sure how they feel when they actually get that tax bill. But so that's true. But, with independents, this is still not going to be popular. And I think he got some bad advice if it was political advice, because they probably said something along the lines of, look, Americans don't think that you take action, right? But we saw what happened in Afghanistan. We sort of just let that fall apart. Americans don't think you take action. So here's an opportunity for you to really take action. And this is a very leftist way of thinking, right? They believe there's some sort of moral good in action. Doesn't matter what the action is. It's action. Government is what we do together, and we all have to do it. Like they believe there's some moral good in that, where on the right, we believe more in individual freedoms and personal responsibility and decentralized command. They don't. And so they actually think this is a good thing. So I think there's a lot of psychology playing into this, perhaps some politics, but I don't see how this makes him more popular. I think it's a bad move if that was their goal.
So one issue on which some on the left and some on the right have agreed is this concept of endless wars, that we had to pull out of Afghanistan because it was an endless war. And I think that's why you had agreement between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who Trump was more of a populist, but he had run on putting an end to the endless war. It's not how all Republicans feel, but it's how he felt in sort of a base of his faction, or a faction of his base. So you had an interesting response to that, the so-called endless war crowd, that I thought was really powerful. And I'll just read how you put it and let you take it from there. You say the advocates of this position, they have a blind spot. They are unable to distinguish between wasteful nation building and a small residual force that conducts occasional counter-terror operations. That's it, right? That's the whole thing boiled down into one sentence.
Yeah, and I would say that is right, and there's more to it than even that. They also have a blind spot in the sense that they have an inability to, I think, assess reality, the reality that's given to us. They seem to believe that we can have it both ways: prevent 9/11s, prevent terrorist safe havens, and keep all of our troops just safe at home and bases here in the United States. And for some reason, that makes them feel good. They don't quite understand that the purpose of national defense, or that in implementing national defense, you do need to be forward deployed.